What is the difference in an incorporated and an unincorporated business? Today we're going to be talking about what is the difference in an incorporated and an unincorporated business. My name is Daniel Passon. I'm one of the tax associates here at Robert Holland Associates. Please like, subscribe, and set that notification bell for future videos so you can be notified when we go live or do other updated videos. Today we're going to be talking about the liability protection that each one may offer, taxation and how they might differ, and the pros and the cons of each incorporated or unincorporated businesses. So first off is the liability protection that they may offer. Now, we are not attorneys here at Robert Holland Associates, so we cannot give legal advice, but just to give you an idea of the structure and how it may or may not help, if you're a incorporated business, you're set up as a true legal entity within your state. When you incorporate your business, you are set up within the state itself, not federally. So you are not federally set up as anything special, but you are set up within the state you are incorporating your business as a legal entity. If you're unincorporated, you are nothing necessarily. You are just operating as a sole proprietorship, doing business as yourself, or maybe you are a partnership, a general partnership, which is not an actual incorporated entity within your state. So you can have a degree of liability protection. You'd want to consult with an attorney to make sure that you're setting yourself up and protecting yourself as you want to. But the incorporated business does have a legal structure within your state. The protection itself is going to be really dependent on how clean you run the business though. So once again, please consult an attorney to make sure that you cover yourself, but you would want to make sure you run it very clean, as the business is its own thing. It is its own living, breathing, operating vehicle that you want to make sure you do not blend the boundaries between yourself and the business. So when you set up an entity and you incorporate it, you are set up legal within the state you are in. Next, we'll be talking about the taxation and the benefits of each one. If you're an incorporated business, as I said before, you are actually a separate entity within the state you're in, which, depending on if you file a partnership or if you elect to be an S corporation, you are a separate entity that will have a separate tax return that will flow the income into your individual return. Now, there's different reasons to have this incorporated structure. This incorporated structure could potentially save you some tax dollars. Please consult with us or look at one of our other videos to find out more information about that. But this is an area where you could potentially have some good tax savings in this process. There's also an additional level of audit protection too. Incorporated entities are much less audited than individuals are. So if you're an unincorporated business, just operating as yourself, as an individual, not only are you exposed to all the elements of what an individual is going to be exposed to with taxation as well as your liability, when you are an unincorporated business, your audit risk is about 4 to 6% typically. And as an entity, you're much less than that, probably less than 0.5%. So your risk of audit is much less when you are an incorporated versus an unincorporated business. This is an area that doesn't have any actual quantifiable value. But if you are one that is afraid of the IRS or feels like you'd want to have that better sleep at night because you don't want the IRS knocking on your door, then an incorporated business could definitely be beneficial to you. But the taxation, you may save some self-employment tax in the process. Once again, please consult with our office or look at other videos so you can find out more information about that as well. But these are some of the tax benefits that a incorporated and unincorporated business could offer you. Finally, we'll talk about the pros and cons of each structure. We briefly touched on some of the pros and cons already, but let's go over them a little bit more in detail. A pro of an incorporated business is you should have an additional liability protection. Once again, please consult with an attorney for this, but they should, as long as you're running things cleanly, have a lot better layer of liability protection as well as for the incorporated business opposed to the unincorporated business. Also additional to that is taxation. You would save potentially taxes if you were to set up as an entity, an unincorporated business versus an unincorporated business. So there's taxation savings too. And third, there's also a much lower risk of audit. These are 3 big reasons on why an incorporated business is going to be much better than an unincorporated business. So those are some pros. So let's talk about some of the cons. Now, having an incorporated business does cost more money than an unincorporated business. There's annual fees that you have to pay, there's tax returns, there's state fees, there's potentially payroll fees. There's many different costs that are associated with having an incorporated business. So as much as earlier we discussed the pros, which are there's also the con of the costs. Also, you have now more things to do, tax returns to file, dates to keep in mind. And you may very well have to keep 2 calendar books because maybe you can't keep it all straight. I'm being a little facetious, but still, there's more to maintain. So those are a couple of cons for it. Now, a pro of an unincorporated business is simplicity. You just can roll out of bed, start a new business, go about your business, make money, and no big deal. You don't have to set anything up, you don't have to do anything, and that's very simple, very easy. Sometimes the whole KISS saying, keep it simple, silly, is the best way of going, because why are we going to overcomplicate your life? Also, along the same lines of that pro, if you have an idea, an entity or an incorporated business could very well be the right path, but I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but 70% of businesses fail. So why are we setting something up just to potentially have it not work out? And now you spent money setting up the business, you spent money maintaining it, also it didn't even work out. So you spent more money in actually setting it up than actually what you made. So sometimes it's better to walk than run, and being just an unincorporated business might be the best path for you at first. So that's a good con. But the negatives are the opposite to those pros, because you are a higher risk of audit, you potentially would be paying more tax, and also you're potentially more liability exposed. Once again, please consult with your attorney on that. So those are what we talked about today. Today we talked about incorporated versus unincorporated businesses. We talked about the liability situation with those, the differences, the taxation, as well as some of the pros and cons. Hopefully you learned some good information today. If you have any other further questions, please go to our website, www.roberthalltax.com, or click on the link below to find out more information. And if you have any questions, we're here to help. My name is Daniel Passon. Hope you had a good day, and we'll hopefully hear from you soon.